Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Timelines Unbound. We're on episode 4 now of Season 1, and it's not going to be as much war this episode. It's not a major episode, so not too much is going to happen. Dennis is going to expand up into these 3 provinces in the search of gold. Yes, it's been made clear that Albania is going to move eastways into Macedonia a little bit. Oh, okay. They're also going to expand north all the way up into these provinces over here. Albania looks something like this now. It's very large. Rome is going to declare a state of moving north. And Slovakia is going to move down here, south, to get to the sea, I guess. They're going to begin making large expeditions into Croatia. And nations are able to expand a lot more per episode now, because, technology is advancing at a rapid rate. We're passing like 100 years every episode. So there's a lot happening in that time. Currently, at the start of this video, when you clicked on, it was set in, I want to say, 720 BC, around that time. So, yeah, take that as you will. Byzantium is going to focus all of their efforts into expanding this way into Macedonia. And now Byzantium looks something like this. It's a little gory at the moment, but we'll see how that turns out later. Oh, and Byzantium has joined the Ruthenian Pact with the rest of these guys. And Kiev is finally going to do something for the first time in ever. They're going to start advancing north. Mission is heard throughout the entire pact because they all start advancing north. Brandenburg is going to begin expanding south. They haven't done anything since the first episode either, but they've been cooking up a lot of expansion because their population is extremely huge and they are in search of new land. I was about to say Portuguese there. Oh, now I sound British. Brilliant. Brandenburg looks something like this now. It's kind of gory. Denmark also expands in all directions because that's a viable decision, I guess. Holland expands a lot in all directions and buys this little outpost from the Vikings. The Purple French kind of have to go around this outpost because the Vikings are less willing to sell this one. First time in history, Holland is bordering the French. Orange France is going to slightly move inwards, but still trying to respect the little line policy they wrote. You may have noticed I changed the colors of these two nations because I didn't like the ones we had before. Nothing changed about them. We can write this in the lore. They had minor government reforms. Anyways, the population of Speckland is going to begin going around the coast of Africa, and they're going to become, predominantly an African nation. They do have Sicily, which makes them partially European, but other than that, they're African. Their population is among one of the least stable because, they were very happy being a liege to Albania. But they're also kind of happy being free, so we'll see how those two communities interact. A new alliance is formed over here after a lot of diplomacy. The Irelands create an alliance. Yes, they're friends now, even though they had a war last episode. And the Scottish also join in this. This is kind of a peacekeeping pact of sorts, and their main enemy right now is the English and the Vikings because the Vikings are suspicious, very suspicious. The Hollanders also kind of contribute to this pact, but they're too busy sending men to the Vikings to really join in on the alliance, so the Icelanders make a large expansion up here. Iceland colony looks something like this now. Yeah, that's a very weird shape. Wow, it's like a little hand coming to grab Iceland. That's funny. Also take this province because I don't like how it looks down here. The Southern Michiganders, they create a large expansion down here. They're still kind of shocked from that last war, which kind of sandwiched them. But these guys up here are also going to expand into neighboring provinces, which are a lot less dense. Anyways, the Michigans look like this now. The Ontarians, the Torontonese, make large expansions up this way. Alta is going to expand this way, attempting to link up with their allies up here. And they kind of look ugly now, so I'm going to expand them this way too. Post-Anoramia is going to move this way and begin going into Mexico a little bit. Very nice. California is going to move up north, all the way up north here, up to here. And they're not a very densely populated area, not in this universe at least, so they do have a lot of room for expansion. The population density is a lot different here than there, so don't get that too mixed up. Speaking of growing rapidly, area is going to make large expansions out east, but not too much, not as much as they could be, because they're busy, developing healthcare, something unknown to this universe currently. China expands all the way up here. And they thicken this area a little bit, mostly because I thought it was ugly before. Korea is not going to do too much expansion because they're busy, discovering Japan for the first time. So we'll see how that changes global politics. Oh yeah, Australia's a thing now, and their goal is to mainly take over the entirety of the island. So they're going to move into some of the less densely populated areas. The Antarcticans are going to entirely discover the rest of the continent. Yes, it's already happening. The first continent to be completely filled in. And I don't like their color, so I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. Muscovy is going to make large expansions and finally reach Karelia. They're also going to begin expanding eastways a little bit. Muscovy is almost not landlocked, so maybe in a far future they have access to the Arctic Ocean. World destroyers are going to cross the sea. They actually don't have a player nation. They're just an AI because the person who created it doesn't like the series apparently, even though they joined it, so too bad. So wrap around the coast here. Prepholm is going to make large expansions into Finland, which they now see as their kind of holy land, if you will. I don't know why Finland, but apparently Finland in real life has the highest percent of happiness, so that could be a cause. There's also a non-aggression pact between the two of these, so long as Albania does not step into Macedonia at all, which has kind of happened. Popeyes expands their Aragon colony over here, and they now border the mainland Iberian countries, so they can do a lot more trading now, and start selling some more chicken. Oh my god. Looming across the waters of the North Sea for the past, 20 years, has been speakings of some sort of Viking canon event, and now that plan from the Vikings is finally going underway. The Vikings make landing in England after a very long-fought battle across the coast, and the English were kind of ready for this, kind of not. They were easily the most paranoid of all of these because they are the most hated, and the Vikings are the strongest country in the world right now, and the English are easily going to be invaded. The English are going to put up a hard fight, though, hardest fight probably in history, because the English are a top power as well. They took over Kent, and the capital is halfway surrounded. They began a larger encirclement. Yes, these are encirclement tactics in ancient times. Yeah. And eventually the capital is very much surrounded, and they begin sieging it. They also begin moving into the countryside, where there's a lot less troops, and they're a lot more successful. The Welsh and the Cornwallers begin moving up here, because they also want a piece of this. And doing that prompts the Alliance to join in as well, so Scotland also has to fight them because they're obligated to. So Scotland begins moving in to the north in an attempt to come down here and get everybody settled and stop fighting. So heralds from Scotland come down here and tell everybody, hey, stop fighting, please. Hey, stop fighting, please. And everybody except the Vikings listen. The Vikings begin closing in more on the capital. The first set of walls are breached, and then the second walls are breached, and those are the only walls. So they are now officially cooked. England very quickly capitulates over to the rest of the nations, and a peace treaty must now be drawn. Wow, this is quite a weird peace treaty. So the Scottish agree to give this area over here to the Vikings. The Vikings take over this entire part of Britain, and the companies here, they merge into Wales Cornwall, and they're starting to become a little bit more, I hate to say this word, independent. So they're now going to become an autonomous territory of these guys, which basically means they're a vassal, but they're also, I just put down the cities layer. They're a vassal, but they're also, a lot more autonomous. They do pay a very large amount of their economy over to the East Irish, and this nation is AI-led, unless somebody steps up and wants to take over Wales. It's free for the taking. Oh, and England has to move their capital because they're scared of Vikings attacking them again. England also takes over these provinces. I'm turning Russian as this video goes on. So Scotland takes over this area over here, and they're now kind of declared as the peacekeeper of the British Isles because, they're trying to keep everything under control. But surprisingly, the British Isles are kind of turning out to be our Middle East. The rest of Madagascar has been settled. The Albanians also begin creating a plan to kind of escape in times of danger, so we'll see that take tuition later. Grey Rome finally finishes paying off the Red Romans and gets their heel back. And they also get Sicily, because they steal it. They annex it from the Specklanders, but there's not really a war over it. They kind of just come in here, and the Albanians living there are more happy to give it to the Grey Romans than them. But this Albanian population is beginning to change in loyalty, down here at least. So we'll see how that changes. A meteor hits Speckland, and it is erased. It is gone. Yeah, and the speck, and the other speck. It's gone too. They're all gone. Why did this happen? We don't know. Apparently the person who created Speckland, made an order to destroy it. Egypt expanded a lot off camera before I started recording, but Israel is going to come in here and start taking these provinces, so Egypt can't, because they want access to that beautiful, beautiful canal. Israel also convinces some natives down here to join them, and their rule seems to be getting increasingly popular. This Mesopotamian nation over here begins moving up north, and they now, that I look at it, hold on, you'll see the vision in a second. They kind of look like a hand, and this is the thumb. It's very weird shaped, and it's pointing up this way to Kurdistan over here, which exists now. Kurdistan is real. Kurdistan is going to move up north and begin taking over more of their population land. Population land, yes, what a word. Oh yeah, the Emirates are here. The, what did he call it again? There's like the Hazan Emirates. Anyways, they start moving inland because it looks big on the map, and we need more big nations on the map. Anyways, I think that's actually going to do it for this video. We didn't see a lot of war except that one in, England, where they kind of just got sandwiched for nearly no reason other than being England. And, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. If you want to create a country, just comment the color, location, name, lore, anything really. And, goodbye.